here I've got Josh. Josh, what do we play today?
Naturia Runick.
Oh man. Okay, sounds like fun. What do we do? What's our record?
Went 2-2.
Played it last week. What 3-1 with it?
Close. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Maybe.
Okay.
I can't remember. It's been a week.
I know it's been a week. Let's get into the build and see what we got.
It's Thanksgiving weekend, so.
Oh yeah.
I ate a lot of food and all that, so. It's 40 cards.
Yeah.
I know you recorded some matches of it. It was at 43 at that time, and I'll explain what changes I made.
Okay.
I'll explain what changes I made, and actually that change went really what's a huge positive.
Good.
So, for monsters, I'm gonna real quick separate them. So monsters, I have 3 Naturia Mole Cricket. Just go through that engine first. It's really simple. You tribute it to special summon a Naturia monster from your deck.
Yep.
It's free, unless you get ashed. But if your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack, 9 times out of 10, you summon 2 instead.
Gotcha.
So it's a 2 for 1 or a 1 for 1.
Gotcha.
It's very, very good. And it's a bread and butter for the whole deck, essentially. Then I run 3 Camellia. The other side of it, when it's summoned, you can send a Naturia card from deck to grave. That includes either the spell or the traps, or the monsters, which is pretty solid. And then also, added effect, if it stays on board, if your Naturia monster would ever tribute itself for an effect, you can mill 2 instead. So you can keep, like, for example, your Mole Cricket on board, since it tributes itself.
Still mill.
And you just mill 2 instead of tributing, which is good for extra bodies.
Yeah.
And a couple other cards too are very good with that. And then also, if you have it on board and your opponent summons a monster, you just summon a Naturia from your grave for free. So like you could summon, for example, Rosewhip from graveyard, or Sunflower from graveyard, or Antjaw if you're playing like the Sprite variant.
Yeah.
So, and I do play the Sprite variant, it goes hard.
Okay.
Rosewhip is one of. I know not a lot of people, or not everyone runs this, but I find it to be really good in this format, especially against Rescue Ace, because Rescue Ace can't out it. They are locked into just emergency, or just alert.
Gotcha.
And after you have it on board, your opponent's just like, well, guess I either have to figure out how to attack it, or just let it sit there and pass.
Yeah.
So really good against a lot of decks nowadays.
Yeah.
And then I also run 1 Sunflower.
It's a cute card.
It's also very busted. Basically, tribute 2 monsters, including itself, or 2 Naturias, including itself, negate a monster effect and destroy that card.
That's good.
Makes it even better is Camellia will let you mill 2 instead of tributing.
Yeah.
And it's not once per turn. As long as you can tribute itself in Sunflower, you can keep doing it infinitely almost.
Okay.
So like a big thing is I'll have Camellia and Sunflower on board. Tribute, mill 2 instead of tributing, negate and destroy monster effect, and then tribute itself in another Naturia, negate and destroy, effect the Camellia, bring it back, tribute again to destroy.
Gotcha.
So it's at least 3, at most 3 disruptions.
Yeah.
If not 4, if you get like Mole Cricket shenanigans.
Gotcha.
So it's absolutely insane sometimes.
Absolutely.
And then for the last set of monsters, it's just 3 Ash.
Standard.
Yeah, pretty standard. But for main bread and butter, I only run 8 monsters in the main deck and then 3 hand traps. So it's 11 monsters in total. For spell cards, it's a lot. I think it's like 28.
Oh man.
So 3 Naturia Blessing to start with. It's a 3-in-1 quick effect synchro summon or fusion summon. So you can go into like Naturia Exterior or Gaia Stereo with it. Most of the time you'll use it to special summon a Naturia monster from hand or grave, which is non-targeting, which is also helpful.
Yep.
Or you can quick effect synchro summon, which I don't ever do.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's mainly used for the fusion summon or for the special summon for hand or grave.
Gotcha.
Because it's extra like fuel or like continue recursion. So, and then for the other half of the deck, Runick, run 2 Fountain because it's at 2. It's pretty good.
I hate Runick. There's no offense to anyone who plays it. I just hate it.
I mean, I spent $5 for the whole core.
Yeah,
so.
I know. It's because it came out tins. It came cheap.
Yep. 3-tip because it's good.
Yep.
It's a search one, then mill one. I did banish a branded regain today.
Feels good.
And it was the only one if he had, so he's like, well, that's a good hit. Yeah, seems good. Searches for anything in the deck, basically for half the deck, which is nice. So 3 freezing curses, it's your Veiler plus a banish 3, so
gotcha.
And it can't be hit by called by, which is pretty good. 3 slumber, it's basically just another name, but in some cases you keep a monster from being destroyed. Banish top 3. It's pretty cool. Flashing Fire. It's your, I don't know what to compare it to, but it destroys a special summon monster.
You draw one too, right?
No, you banish top 2 of your opponent's deck.
That's right.
So it's good disruption against certain decks. Unchained, not so much.
No.
But decks like Rescue Ace, you can hit their Hydrant before they get a set activation off of it, which is nice. 3 destruction. It's the MST of the deck, but also on top of that, banish top 4. So it's pretty solid. It did come in clutch and destroy an Imperm a game or 2, but I mean, it's just another name, really. Normally I use it to summon from extra deck because I normally go first, or try to go first. And then I run 1 Golden Droplet and 1 Dispelling just for extra names to shuffle back with Fountain.
Gotcha.
So normally I just use these to summon from extra deck. Didn't use this effect to make your opponent draw 1 and banish top 4, or use this effect to make your opponent discard and banish top 2. Just not prevalent. So that's the Runick engine. Then for the last cards, standard stuff, 2 talents, because I don't like being hit by hand traps.
No one does.
And it's helpful. I run the 1 called by.
For hand traps.
Yep, so if my opponent drolls me and I need to keep searching, I just hit him with that. And then here's a spicy tech, is 3 Mistaken Arrest. In this deck, droll is actually more hurtful than Mistaken Arrest, because Mistaken Arrest specifically says until the end of the turn after this card resolves, neither player can add except by drawing, where Droll just says you cannot add cards, period. Where Runick Fountain draws cards instead of searching. So you still get to use Fountain's effect while you're under Mistaken Arrest, and your opponent can't combo. So you're still comboing, your opponent can't combo. It's a really nice trade-off. The trick is just opening it and going first. So, and even then, going second, this card still pulled some weight, which was nice. So, and that's all of these spells.
1 trap.
A singular trap.
1 tree.
I want it back at 3. I really want it back at 3. It's not doing anything.
Give you that, Josh.
Or 2. I will take 2 because it's not doing anything.
Until it goes to 2.
But even then, like, what do you do? Just like send 1 and then you're just out. Like, okay. But essentially, the only reason I use this is for Naturia Camellia. The combo is like summon Yugioh off of a Runick spell card, and then summon Camellia, send the tree to search for Naturia Blessing. That's not Naturia Blessing. Add Naturia Blessing.
Gotcha.
Then you'll synchro summon into a level 6 synchro with Camellia and Yugioh, because Camellia is a tuner. Blessing will bring back the Camellia to get you into a free Baron.
That's really good.
So, and that's before summon 5.
So it's pre-nib.
Yeah. So it's, I think it's right on summon 5 or summon 4.
Gotcha.
So, and then after that, you're just kind of sitting on Runick spells, and your opponent has to get through all of that too, on top of the Omni Negate from Baron. So, and that's the main deck. 40 cards exactly.
40? Let's take a look at the side.
Yep. Extra deck?
Extra deck. Let's do extra first. Yep.
Okay, that's fine. 1 Herald. Because Rose Whip plus Mole Cricket equals Herald. And I should have done it 1 game and it cost me the game. But oh well. Happens to the best of us. 2 Naturia Beast, because spell cards are terrible.
I hate that card.
Barkion, because traps are terrible. I run 1 Coral Dragon. Primarily because you can do what's it called? You can use the Camellia Yugioh combo I mentioned before to go into him, and then use a Runick spell in hand to summon the level 4 fusion to go into Chaos Angel or Baron.
Gotcha.
And then this will trigger to draw a card.
Which is always good.
Which is nice. And then I run 1 Stardust Charge Warrior for the same reason, just in a different fashion. You'll draw a card off of this on summon instead of being sent to grave, but then you summon Camellia for Baron. The only one is you just don't go into Chaos Angel with this one. You'd go into Chaos Angel with this.
Is that? It is. Your next card.
I run Omega for 1 of them because one of the fusion plus Camellia equals Omega, and it's just an extra option. really. And if I banish Yugioh, I can just bring it back from the banish pile to stop my opponent from disbanding it, which is
always good.
Helpful, yeah. 1 Baron, and this is
Ooh, collector trick.
Ryan will like that.
Yeah. Nice.
So the Baron is part of the bread and butter combo that I mentioned earlier. If you open a Runick card in Camellia, you're pretty much guaranteed this.
Yeah.
So it's really, really nice, as long as Yugioh gets ashed instead of Camellia.
Yeah.
So, and then Chaos Angel for my last synchro, just because it is an option.
Yeah. Expensive option.
I played it. Well, I have it. So.
Yeah, that's a good card.
I did play it once, and it did, put in some work, but it just feels like a big beater compared to the Omni Negate that Baron has. So, and then for the fusions, I run 1 Moonin, Runick Wings. Basically, I'm only using it for time. Gotcha. So if you go to time, if time is called, you just go to end phase before, or like when the timer runs to 0, and you just say end phase gain 1,000 per game. And even then, it's a level 6, so I could use that and Ash for a level 6 synchro if I wanted to. Gotcha. But that's like in extreme scenarios where I'm bricking absolutely ridiculously. I run 2 Gary. It's the level 4 that gets you into Chaos Angel, because Chaos Angel just needs a non-tuner lighter dark. So this plus Coral Dragon is Chaos Angel plus a draw.
Gary the snail.
And then also, just as an added effect, if he's destroyed by battle, you get to destroy a card your opponent controls.
Yeah.
But that part's okay. I just mainly use it for the synchro ability. Then I run 2 Yugioh. This is part of that bread and butter combo into Baron.
Yep.
Discard a card, add Fountain, which is cool and all. But if you have Camellia, you can just pop off into Baron regardless.
It works. Yeah.
And then it's also a light, so if needed, you can use it. You could maybe use it as a tuner or non-tuner for Chaos Angel.
Yeah.
But highly likely not.
Gotcha.
And then the last card in the extra deck is Naturia Exterio.
Good card.
Just because there is a chance, and it has happened before, where I get Barkion and Beast on the field at the same time, and then Blessing lets me fusion summon.
Yep.
And Blessing's not once per turn at all.
Yeah.
So you can use all 3 copies in the same turn to go into Barkion, Beast, or special summon from grave a couple times, and then fusion summon into Exterio.
Always good.
And if I get Exterio out, most of the time the game's over.
Yeah.
So just because he can banish and banish and mill to negate anything.
Yep.
So basically shuts down the game at that point, and he's 2,800.
He's big.
So, and then on top of that, I'm just living off of the Runick cards for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So that's my extra deck 15, of course. So side is 2 Droll. Not maining it because I prefer to go first. And if I have to go second, then I'll just take out the Mistaken Arrest for Droll. So and then I run 2 Ghost Mourner. Extra monster negate if necessary, if I'm going second, really. So most of the side is just me going second, if I'm going second. 2 Ghost Spell for that graveyard interruption. Then I run 1 Feather Duster for the extra spell and trap removal if I'm planning on playing against Labyrinth, or if I just want to see if I can sack a Rescue Ace deck.
Yeah.
But Destruction normally pulls its weight well enough for that.
Gotcha.
So then I run 3 Dark Ruler.
Good card.
If I'm going second, I don't need to deal battle damage because I'm skipping my battle phase 9 times out of 10.
Yep.
So it's no drawbacks really.
No.
2 Xyz Encore for Pearly. The week of, it did go really hard. I pretty much just tapped a Noir out of play. Or I think it was a Zeus as well, which is really funny. Tapped the Zeus out of play and just had it for game after that because he was out of cards. So, and then the last card is Shared Ride, 3 copies, essentially the reverse of Mistaken Arrest.
Playing that, it's just hard to always have it. Mm-hmm. It's like a maxi, but
maxi for searching. But it's just, since it's not a quick effect, or not maxi, it just doesn't feel as good.
No.
But in the case that I just want my opponent to do something, or if I wanted to add this as extra, I'll have it. In my recorded matches, I did have this in place of Gozen match, and I had this in the deck to make 43. And I figured out this was just more clunky than Mistaken Arrest, so it was either one or the other. It was either one or the other. So I just took Shared Ride and put it in the side, took out Gozen match because Gozen lost me the match on those games that day. I thought it'd be helpful, but having only 1 attribute hurts.
Perfect. So we got 40 in the main,
you
said, and then 15 and 15.
Yep.
All right, Josh. I appreciate it. We'll see you again next time.